Hi everyone, Brian from Variable Traders here. It is Wednesday, November the 17th, and we're more than halfway through the week, so this would be the midweek video where we'll take a look at how things have been going the last 3 days, and then we'll look ahead, see how we're looking to finish off the week here. And we've had some lots of earnings this week, some retailers, some of the Chinese stocks, so let's get down and take a look at some of the stuff that's been going on this week. Okay, so let's start up with the high-level view. So I like to do here, economic events to watch for the rest of the week. We've got initial jobless claims, and the Fed Manufacturing Index. That'll be tomorrow morning, Thursday, around 8:30. They'll come out with those numbers, so they may impact how we open tomorrow. Earnings, we had NVIDIA after the close here today, and they're up almost 5% after hours, at least when I checked last. And so obviously beat on the top and the bottom line on NVIDIA, so good results there. We've got, before the market open tomorrow, we've got Baba, Macy's, and JD, a couple of Chinese companies and another retailer. And then AMAT after the close Thursday, and Foot Locker on Friday. So some more retailers and some more Chinese stocks coming up as the week goes on. Observations for the week so far, and we'll get into this looking at some of the charts in a second here, but to me the index looks like they'll be putting in some lower highs, so we'll take a look at that in a minute. That was something I mentioned as a possibility on the weekend video. VIX creeping up higher today, again sort of a sign of maybe a little bit of concern that we may be heading lower. We did have some big moves on the treasuries this week. They did pull back today on the yields. And the dollar's been very strong, although we did have a bit of a pullback on that as well today, so after a big push higher. So let's deep dive here and take a closer look at the charts. But before we get going, as if you've been watching my videos, I always like to do a quick plug here for my book on Amazon, How to Swing Trade. These are the rules, routines, and strategies of what I do as a swing trader. So let's now drive over here and take a look at some of the indexes. Start out with a 10-year. Of course, this is not updated quite yet. We did have a further pullback today, but you can see here we've had quite a bit of choppy price action, double bottom here, and then a surge back up. So we're still range bound the way it looks right now. So a breakout from, sort of 1.7 or a breakdown through 1.4 would be significant, but if we continue to chop in the range, shouldn't have any impact on the indexes. So you can see here this rise in the TLT is indicative of a real bit of a sell-off today on the yields, or a drop in the yields. As far as the transports go, so as I mentioned in the quick recap before we got started here, you can see here again, as I had mentioned on the weekend video, I was questioning whether we were going to put in a lower high. So here's your high, and here's another high, but it's lower than the first one. You'll see that recurring theme as we go through the charts here. So we had a bit of a sell-off here today, although I guess for the bulls, all you can say is it was relatively low volume sell-off. Momentum is certainly coming out of this. MACD has gone negative, and stochastics are heading lower. So again, looks like a little bit of weakness heading into the rest of the week here. And again, as I said, sort of reoccurring theme as we go through these charts, lower high here. And the Dow actually was on volume. So not just your regular sort of retail people selling. It's probably some funds as well getting lightening up on their positions. Stochastics, RSI, all heading lower. So again, we lost a moving average here today, which isn't positive either. Same comment with the IWM. We did actually lose this 237.50, which should have been some support. And we did manage to bounce off that moving average, but again, looking pretty weak here. All the indicators, momentum indicators, look like they are heading lower. The Qs hung in the best, obviously, and we were right back up. We challenged this all-time high today and pulled back significantly. So you've got this, I would say, a bearish candle on this one. Volume was pretty light, so it doesn't give you a lot of indication as to who was buying and selling. There wasn't a lot of heavy institution selling. So again, the Q's looking the best of all the indexes, I would say. SPY not too bad, although it again was down on the day after going up and trying to challenge this this all-time high here, and a bit of volume. So again, bit of a lower high here, but not as bad as the first two indexes. The dollar, as I mentioned here, really just broke out from this level middle to late last week. Had a real push higher, and we've got a bit of a pullback now. But this is really, when you get this extended, you all obviously expect these pullbacks, and definitely the trend looks like it's going to head higher here, which may impact emerging markets and stuff like the gold, although gold's been, as I've mentioned on the weekend as well, gold has been sort of bucking the normal correlation and going up with the strength of the dollar at the same time. Very unusual. And as I mentioned here, we did hold this this moving average on the VIX, and we looks like we may be heading higher. Certainly that'll correlate with if the markets do roll over some more, this new index will come up. So we had a bit of a double bottom. A push higher, then a pullback, higher low, and now we may be heading higher on the VIX as well. Okay, so let's go through some of the watch list to wrap things up here. Apple, I haven't no position, but just noticing today we actually did, it was strong today, and we actually did break out from this sort of 5250 level, which I identified as a area of resistance. So we'll see what it does tomorrow. If we get a continuation move, maybe a pullback to the 5250 and continuation higher, but now 5250 area is now the new area of support, so I'd be watching that. As far as Disney goes, Disney's really just breaking down here, no position, but I think it could be interesting if we can get back to this 150 range, which is area of resistance from back here. I think 150 looks interesting if it can hold there. If not, we may be back filling sort of back to this 200-day moving average. So again, maybe a good area at that point to get long, but I'd be watching initially the 150 level first. DraftKings, I'd mentioned that 40 was the area where we needed to hold here, and that actually broke down today. So again, we seem to be heading down to this, I'm going to call it the 35 level. Could be support for DraftKings next. The volume on the selling wasn't particularly high, just probably no buyers. So watching the stochastics for a turn here, but a good area of support there, 35 for DraftKings. Ford still holding on to that one. The the calls, the January 17, January 2022 calls. Facebook, I did have some 330 calls, just sold them because of this nice spike up here. And for now, I'm out of that trade. Looks like we may end up being stuck in a bit of a range here. FCX, I got out of this trade today. Didn't really like the way it traded and then started to sell off here. So out of that trade for now. We're back into this range, and really needs to hold this moving average. Otherwise, we could end up coming back down here to 37. FedEx got out of this one too. You can see here I was hoping for a move back after we got this gap fill, and we did get the gap fill. That's what initially what I was looking for, and yeah, just based on today's price action, I thought it was a good time to get out. We're getting rolling over on all the indicators I like to watch here. Gold and silver, I'm still holding some positions there. Looks like gold shares, price of gold getting ready to break out again here. Lucid finally had a bit of a pullback. You can see here every time it gets extended from this moving average, we do get a pullback. So I'd be watching for another day of pullbacks tomorrow. Maybe we come back to this 47.50 level, which would be a gap fill. I don't know if we're going to get there. We did fill the gap here last sort of ABCD pattern, so watch for another gap fill here back to 47.30. That's a long way from where we are now, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. A bit of a disappointment on the MJ trade. Was looking like it was going to break out. We've had 3 down days since. And yeah, it looks like, again, this is 14 level is an area we probably need to hold. Micron, again, we'll see what happens tomorrow. NVIDIA came out with some good numbers, so maybe that'll give a boost to stocks like AMD and Micron as well. But we did punch out here, break out, and now we've checked right back to this 75 level, which you can argue was the area we broke out from. So we'll see if we get, it's pretty critical to hold that level of support here. PayPal, got some, sold some 200 puts. I've already gotten out half of them, more than half of them actually, and we're pulling back here. They expire at the end of the week. RBLX has been an awesome trade. I'm just sitting with that one right now. We're just really just ripping higher here. Another really good day. Getting really overbought, and looks like momentum. Maybe this momentum's coming out of the trade. I'll probably look to take some of that off in the morning. Just wanted to bring your attention to SEV. This is actually not a swing trade. It is a day trade that I did today. And I've noticed these ones that are hot. This was an IPO. It doesn't necessarily have to be an IPO, but this was an IPO. See how it popped up here at the open, lots of strength, and then it sort of stayed strong, sort of through the lunch hour and into the early afternoon. And I've noticed around 1:30, quarter to 2 o'clock, these ones that are in play and tend to stay strong tend to start to break out around this 2 o'clock hour. So I got back on, was watching it. It started to break out from this level here and got long at around 30.50. And I'm still holding half of my position as we went into the after hours, and it got up to, I don't know exactly where it peaked out, but I sold half of my position at 44. So I literally got almost a $14 move out of that. And this is something that should always try to keep an eye on. This is a pattern that seems to repeat. And again, this is a 5-minute chart, not a daily chart. So a little bit of a day trade tip. And Tesla, I am still short the 1,000 put. And you can see here we had a nice day today, got through 1,100. We had a great day today, great trading day. Just kept going up and went over to 1,100. High was 1,120 almost. So pulled back significantly on the day, but think I'm pretty safe with the puts here at 1,000. And hopefully we'll see that expire at the end of the day. All right, let's wrap things up. Let's take a look at the futures, how they look right now. You can see the Dow's down just a bit. So it's pretty mixed. I would say overall they're flat. If anything, the only of note is the Nasdaq's up. That's probably the result of those good NVIDIA numbers. So we'll see how things open tomorrow. But again, things are looking a little bit dicey as we put in that lower high. So I'd be taking a bit of a cautious eye and keep an eye on the VIX as well. Watch to see if it continues to move higher through the remainder of the week. So that's it, everybody. Hope you all had a good day today and having a good evening. We'll see you in the morning, 8 o'clock. We start out live on YouTube with Jared, engineering the markets, and then the pre-market show with Norm and Carlos normally taking us through the price action there. So, and then of course we'll be trading the market open at 9:30. Hope to see you at one or all of those things. And have a good rest of the evening. Bye for now.